In this episode of Stecker Studios, we build a tall, double pinch pot vase. In this video series, we're building 2 sets of pinch pot vases using multiple pinch pots. In this episode, we're building one that is taller than it is wide. Later, there'll be another video that shows how to make one that's a bit wider. To start, we want to have 2 pinch pots that are about the same size and fit together rim to rim. Once we have our pinch pots, we're going to score the rim of both pinch pots nice and thoroughly. We want to make sure that we have plenty of grip to stick these 2 pinch pots together. Now that we scored, we're going to add a bunch of slip to make sure that we have plenty of glue to stick these pinch pots together. You can use a brush, a knife, or your finger to spread it. Just make sure that you use plenty of it. Now it's time to stick both of these pinch pots together. Take both pinch pots and firmly press them together. Any of that slip that squirts out the sides, take it and spread it along the seam, and then we're going to blend clay from one pinch pot right across to the other. When it comes to spreading clay from one pinch pot to the other, I oftentimes like to use a serrated rib tool. This helps to grab some of that clay and rough up that seam a little bit to help us smooth it out and get rid of the evidence of the seam being there. Next, I'm going to form a small coil by squeezing off a little bit of clay and rolling it back and forth on the table to wrap around the seam to help seal it up even further and also to help hide the seam. Let's take that coil and wrap it right along the seam, and then we're going to start to take a little bit of that clay and blend it between both pinch pots, sealing it up nice and tight and hiding the seam along the way. Once our pinch pots are sealed together, we've created an air bubble on the inside that will later on help us to form and shape it further. Now, I like to use this serrated rib tool again to help spread out the clay and help to get rid of some of these bumps. The serrated rib tool will shred up some of the bumps a little bit, and then I'm going to go back in with a rubber rib tool to help smooth out the rest of the work so we can get rid of the seam and make the base of our pot nice and smooth. Now that the seam is sufficiently hidden, it's time for the fun. We're going to break out the paddle and begin shaping our pot and giving it the form we're looking for. We're going to use a paddle and rotate our pot while we're tapping in order to form our pot into shape, rounding off edges, and also helping to get rid of some of the marks made while we were forming it. So the paddle really does 2 things for us. It helps us to smooth out the surface, and it helps to create the shape and form we're after. Now you can continue to rotate and tap your pot until you get it nice and round, but in my case, I'm looking to flatten it out a little bit on 2 sides. So I'm going to bang the pot on the table a little bit to help give it a flat side, and do this on the opposing side as well. Let's take that paddle back out and use it to continue to flatten 2 sides of our pot while rounding out the rest. Now that our pinch pots are sealed together, we have an air bubble on the inside, which will later help us to shape and form our pots. As I was working with my pot, the seam became apparent again, so I'm just going to roll out a little coil, stick it on there, and spread that clay to fill in that little gap. So that just about does it for this episode. We've formed the base of our pot, and then in the next episode, we're going to begin to add a footing, a rim, and begin to cut it open. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your own pots. If you find this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing.